This is a lesson on the Advanced Symphony Audition for Moss Middle School. If you are wanting to audition for Advanced Symphony, you need to do Level 3, which starts with an F major scale. So I'm going to help you with that right now. This is a lesson on the F major scale, 3 octaves. First thing you need to take note of is that we have one flat and no sharps. So our first note is going to be a low 2. You'll see on the audition it says L2. And then there are Roman numerals underneath the line. So I'm going to circle Roman numeral 3. A V is Roman numeral 5. Then we go back to Roman numeral 3. And then our last Roman numeral is 1. So when we see the Roman numeral 3, we go to third position. If you never shifted before, that means you're putting your first finger instead of, we usually use this as a third finger tape. We usually put our first finger back here in first position. Now we're taking our first finger to the third finger spot. So we're in third position. So when we go to fifth position, we're moving past our fourth finger tape and we're going up slightly higher than that for fifth position. So this scale will end in fifth position. Right now my tapes are showing my anchor for third position, and this blue tape is the end of my third position. So 1, 2 would be on your fourth finger spot, 3, 4. And when we go to fifth position, we take our first finger here and use this blue tape for our second finger. So we'd have 2, 3, and 4 up here. So this is our F at the end of our F major scale. So our fingers will start in low 2. I'm going to pluck. Sorry. There's our F natural. G is on the tape. A, B flat is a low 1. C natural. Shift to the D tape. E, low 3 is F natural. Then we do our G, A, B flat. And instead of using 3 for my C, I'm going to put my 1 there. And then D, E, squish for your F. See, there's space between C and D. There's space between D and E, but there's no space between D, E, and F. It's a very tight squeeze. And then we come back down. E, D, C, and then we need to come back to third position. So I'll find my B flat right next to my red tape. A is on the red tape. I cross over for my G. So I'm on the A string for my G. Low 3 for an F. E, D is on the tape. And then we come back to first position. C, B flat. Use a fourth finger for the A, not open A, fourth finger. Then G is on the tape, and then we end with low 2. Okay, so if you've never shifted before, watch this part. If you've shifted, then I'll give you a timestamp to skip this part. Okay, so shifting, if you see the side of my string, when we play our note, we push the string down all the way to the fingerboard. When we're shifting, I'm starting from the first position 1. We lift up, so you can see light under my finger, but not off the string. We lift up, so we're still touching the string, but not pushing the string to the fingerboard. And then we take our thumb and our finger and go to the new spot and press down. You don't want to move your bow during the shift, and you want the shift to be as relaxed as possible. And the key is to take your thumb with you. So from the thumb side, I'm releasing the thumb and shifting to the new spot. So you don't need to pull it off the fingerboard. You just need to skim along the fingerboard. It should sound like a little whoosh of wind. If you hear drag, 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 then you're squeezing too much. You might need to dry your hands, make sure they're not sweaty. It should just sound like a whoosh to the new spot. You don't want to shift like this. You want to shift with your fingers over the fingerboard, but I'm just showing you more trying to give you a better camera angle of my finger. So we're going from F sharp on the E string to A on the E string. If you've played a G natural, like we do in the scale, and then shifted, or C natural, I should say, we're on the A string. You play C natural, you stop your bow, you don't move it until your first finger has quietly and relaxed, in a relaxed way, reached the third finger tape. And then you proceed. And then you shift again. So the key to shifting is to keep your thumb and your finger relaxed and to skim to the new spot and then reclamp. Unclamp, skim, reclamp. Do not clamp while you're shifting. Hope that helps. Okay, here's the rest of the lesson on the scale. There are quarter notes at the beginning of every measure, and those quarter notes are Fs because we are playing an F major scale. Every time there's an F, it is a quarter note, and then it's followed by an up bow slur so that we can play the rest of the eighth notes down, up, which is our most comfortable bowing. So make sure that you're paying attention to the quarter note and the slur that follows it, and then making all the other eighth notes separate bows. So here's our first octave. We're starting with our F natural. Here's our B flat and our first shift. So that's our first octave. I ended on F, I started on F, and I ended on F. So let's try that again. Here's our quarter note. Long, up bow slur, separate, shift, and our next quarter note. And then we continue on. We're going up the A string with our 4, then we cross. So there's a string crossing during this slur. It may feel a little awkward. You may need to practice this one a little extra. Try and make them nice and even. That's our quarter note. Just like that. Down, and then up bow, and then we have a B flat. So this is our third position notes. And now we're done with third position. We go to fifth position. So I'm taking my C natural up here. So I started with C natural, and I ended with C natural. I'm starting up bow on this C natural. Here's our next quarter note. It's an F, followed by an up bow slur. And I'm going back to third position. So I'm going to anchor on this red tape and then squish my 2 next to it because it's a B flat. I'm crossing over to the A string for the 4. I'm not coming back to first position. I'm crossing over in third position to my 4th. There's the next F, slur, and then I come back down. 2, 3, 4, stop. Okay, so I'm going to play this really slowly with the metronome. 1, 2, ready, go. If you need it even slower, you can slow the playback speed down on YouTube settings. Okay, for an audition tempo, I would try and aim for somewhere between 90 and 100 for your quarter note. I'm going to play this at 90 on the metronome. 1, 2, ready, go.